Hey everyone, I am Kate. Welcome to Live and Learn for Captivate this month, where we are talking about mind mapping. Now, mind mapping is really fun and also really practical. So, to play along to get the most out of this experience, make sure you have pen, paper, even better if you have a lot of colors with you so that you can see what you're doing, but really get hands-on, at least pen and paper. Maybe go back and watch the replay, and I'm gonna push you through this exercise. In addition to pen and paper, what else might you wanna have with you? Well, who has made a vision board? Or maybe your planner or goals or a journal, anything that you might already have that's a touch point of what you care about, your values, where you want to head in life. And if you don't have any of those things, that's okay too. Come tabula rasa, right? Blank slate with me. And we're going to do this exercise called mind mapping, which all it is stemming ideas and thoughts, diagramming around a central theme. That's it. I'm sure you guys made idea webs or all sorts of things like that as a kid, and you're like, mind mapping, fancy buzzword that came into 1994, right? Yes. Don't let these buzzwords scare you. Kat, hi, hello. Anyone else? Thank you for joining me. Give me a wave. Let me know if you're here or on a replay so that I can be of service to you along the way. Hey, cheese, my favorite. As I was saying, make sure that you have something to write on so you can play along, or there is a link in the message on the post in Facebook, or yeah, that's basically the place to go. If you would like to get a template that looks like this, well, it doesn't have all the messy writing on it. If you would like to play along, plus it has all the questions that we're gonna use tonight. So the best way for me to explain mind mapping and show you the power of mind mapping is for us to do it together. So this is the last time you're going to be seeing my face for a little bit. Those of you in Facebook land, and I'm gonna do my best to give you guys a view of what I'm working on. And that way we can follow. And hopefully Instagram land, you can see a bit of this going on too. So as I said, a mind map is all about having this central theme with ideas sprouting out. And it can be used for a variety of purposes, whether you are working as an individual or as a team. And the reason why it is so powerful is because it allows you to get out your thoughts and ideas in whatever pattern, whatever rush that they come out, but in the end, they're organized, right? So maybe you are learning a new language or researching something and just need to make sense of all of this information that's coming in. Mind mapping is a great tool for that. You can use illustrations and diagrams to help bring things more to life and to help it become a vision board in itself. The more color you use, the better it's going to engage your memory as well. You might also use a mind map to break down a big project into little, or use it in a meeting to take notes. And one of my favorite ways to use mind mapping is to get everything out of my mind. Let's see. Rachel, I think if you go to captivate-me.com/mind-mapping-worksheet. It will be there. But otherwise, I will talk you through the key elements of the pillars of life, which are in the worksheet. So you can also just listen along. So our first exercise is really great for helping to relieve some of the anxiety and the inner critic that is in our brain by just getting everything out. It also helps us with productivity, because the more things that are out, the better we can do at moving and focusing on what is important. And maybe it's also going to lead to some brainstorming and seeing things in a different way, because when we see things visually, we're engaging a different part of our brain. So what you will do is start in the center with what is on my mind. And from there, we will branch out maybe into some key themes. So I'm going to time us for 1 minute, and as much as you can get out in that minute, we will do. For example, what is on my mind? Okay, the first big buckets of things that I think about on my mind, a lot of stuff going on with my business, so I'll make that a career bucket. A lot of things going on, trying to have some fun and adventure, so I'll make that a bucket. Family, always focused on family. Money, thinking about money. What other things? Maybe I'll make a category just for my Alex, my partner. And from there, I'm going to go down and start thinking about, okay, what about fun is on my mind? Well, a snowshoe trip. And that we got to find a place to go. Got to find the gear. Maybe I even need to buy some things. Is there snow there? So I'm getting this first level down of just these basic things going on in my brain. And that's the first level of mind mapping, is just getting all of these ideas and thoughts out, right? And it's just better than a to-do list because it can come out in any order. But then you want to dig deeper. The great thing about mind mapping is that you learn a lot about yourself as you dive in. So while you can stop here on your mind and say, okay, great, I've got this great to-do list and I'm going to start here with, figuring out where to go. Important. If I'm going to go snowshoeing, I should know where I'm going, right? We can dig a little bit deeper into this, asking, why is this important to me? And it's really important to connect what you're doing back to your values, back to your mission, back to where you are headed in order to feel that alignment. And so when I start digging into the snowshoe trip, asking, why is this important to me? Well, it's time outdoors. And it's time with Alex. It's good exercise. It's peaceful. All of a sudden, I'm getting a greater sense of why I do things the way I do. And when I have filled out all of these different areas of what's on my mind, which we're going to do together over the next minute, we can start to find patterns and themes that are keeping us up at night, right? Where's all my energy going? What am I worried about? Or what's really exciting, and that I need to make sure that some of these other things are in balance so I can make this happen. So with me now, I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute, and however it comes out of your brain, Just get everything out of your head, out of your mind, onto the piece of paper as much as you can in this next minute. Thinking about big categories of your life, like your career, your family, romance, finance, physical, brain health, fun, recreation. So I will cue you with questions in a 1-minute interval, and we're going to do this exercise for the next 3 minutes. So, on your marks, get set. Big categories, what is on your mind? What are the big things? What are all those tasks on your to-do list? And you might want to do this in your first color so that you can see how the questions play out. Career for me is thinking about my business, community, online and offline. Okay, 1 minute done. So, how much did you get out? Were you able to get that first little layer? When you go back and do this in your own time, I encourage you to spend as much time as you need to get everything out. Okay, so now on whatever you have put out there, let's go through a second question. I'll give you a minute. And the question is, what about what I've written matters to me? Why is it important? What sparks me? So, what is important? What sparks me? Why does this matter? Why am I thinking about this? And as much as possible, be positive. So maybe I need to put a little bit more money to fun because life is more than business. My community is important to me because it's fun. Grow. Just the word community. And also, it's tied to my business. So just like that, I've also started connecting different areas of my map to each other. And seeing how different areas of my life are being fueled by some of the same things in terms of having fun and growing and being a part of my community. I think I'm learning a little bit about myself. So we are going to do another minute. We're going to dig a little deeper. And with another color, if you have it. What does success feel like? What does success feel like? How would you feel progress in your body, reflecting on what you just said matters about this task. For instance, the snowshoe trip, success would be anytime on the shoes in the wilderness with Alex. So I will give us a minute now to dive into what does success look and feel like with what matters to you about this item now in perspective. Ready, go. Okay, we're wrapping up our minutes here. What does success look and feel like? There we go. Okay, so this has been your warm-up, and hopefully you have started to see how powerful mind mapping can be in terms of getting thoughts out, digging deeper, can even be a form of journaling, giving you perspective, working through ideas, helping you be a little more creative. And while this feels like, okay, we got to jump all over the place, our ideas came out in any way, in the end, because we have been breaking things down around these central things and using lines to connect with one another, it's actually very organized information that is actionable. So when you do some kind of exercise like on my mind, it's really important that at the end, well, you can leave it, but we do want to then put our attention and focus on something else. And so to pick 1 to 3 items that you're then going to focus your attention on, and not projects, but just how can you move yourself one step forward towards what success looks like, what it feels like. And you may be surprised that the actions that you take might be different than the task list that you were thinking about. Or if not, maybe they are the same items, but you know which one to prioritize and which ones you feel called towards. It's also important to take a look at this and see where your energy is going. I have a lot of energy going to my business and to having fun. Like in the end, I didn't really comment much on family. And part of that is, okay, we didn't have enough time, but honestly, that is a reflection of how I spread my energy and time right now, right? My family doesn't get enough. And so just seeing this is a nice wake-up call for me. Okay, great. Hopefully everyone is feeling warmed up and kind of understanding the free flow of mind mapping, because now things are going to get real. We are going to dive into how to bring our 2019s live with whatever intention you want to bring to it. Many people have, including myself, have started down this path of what is your word of the year? What is this kind of intention? Like, forget resolutions, forget trying to make big changes. Like, what is this intention that we want to bring to ourselves? And so last year, my focus was on my authentic 2018. And so that became the center of my inquiry, was how do I make my 2018 authentic? And this year, my word of the year is zesty. How can I make my 2019 feel more alive, feel like I just want to get up and go every single moment, which is still something that I want to improve on. The word that you choose could be a value, it could be inspirational, it could be a feeling. There's no right or wrong answer, but I want you to pick something right now to ponder on that you can bring into your 2019. Now, the categories around it and that are on the template, in my example, are what I like to call the pillars of life. You might also be familiar with the wheel of life, but they are the key aspects of our life that contribute to happiness, to having a flourishing life, to having that whole life satisfaction and well-being. And that is what I have started as my key categories around this central theme in which to ideate in, because I want to make sure that I am thinking in all of these different areas, and I'll read them out loud for you. However, you could choose whatever areas you want that are calling to you right off bat. So when we think about all of these areas of life, it's important to start thinking about relationships at our cores. So you're going to want to have a category around friends and family, maybe even have two separate categories. Also think about partnership and romance, fun and recreation, physical and brain health, your finances, your career or professional development, and then spirituality or personal development, however you define that. Those are some key areas of your life to be thinking about. You might also want to think about how you're bringing your values to life. And so I have just picked two of my 5 core values to think about how I might make them a little bit more zesty. And that is agility and empowerment. So once again, we're going to play the timed game where every minute we are going to jump to a new area. Once again, in your own time, I really encourage you to take as much time as you need to explore these questions and this idea and draw and doodle and really get in there and personalize it. And so for the point of this exercise, you might just pick one area of life to explore together, and then go and get the worksheet that's posted along with this Facebook post or at CaptivateMeNow or at captivate.com and do it that way. So if you guys are ready with your central word of the year, and be thinking, how might I make my 2019 this word? Okay? And pick one category and pick your first color, whatever it is, to start. And I will read the question once again, time us for 1 minute, we're going to move quickly. So pick one category, one of your pillars of life for like friends, family, fun, recreation, whatever. And I want you to answer the question, what do you want to experiment with or accomplish that would make your year, whatever, in my case, zesty? So what do you want to experiment with or accomplish that would contribute to this year? So ready? We have 1 minute. Answering the question. What do I want to accomplish or experiment? Oh, how time flies when we're envisioning the future, right? And it's so important that we do this because it allows us to have that vision to hold on to, in addition to prioritize and figure out where we're going to start. So wherever you are on your category, pause and let's move to a value. One of your core values that you want to bring some focus on this year. So I have brought empowerment as a value, and I'm going to focus on that. So what is something that is really important to you that you want to explore how to really better integrate that into your life? And the first question that you're going to mind map in related to that value is, what does that value look like in action? Right? What does that value look like in action? You can be using that same first color. So what does empowerment look like in action? Okay, now we're going to move on to our next color. And as you think about this fill in the blank here, I would love to hear all of your words, by the way. Please chat them in. Mine is zesty. The next question down that you're going to answer for both the value and the pillar, or that first category. So your next question is, you've done this before, folks. What sparks you about this? Why does this matter, right? So like, let's dig a little bit deeper into these first initial dreams and experiments that we want to dive into. Okay, so a minute on the timer. What sparks you about this? Why does it matter? What sparks you? Why does this matter? Okay, just like that, a minute is up, right? So hopefully you're digging deeper into one of your values, one of these key areas of your life, really starting to get that sense. And maybe you're thinking to yourself, hey, some of the things that matter to me on my mind are also here. That's a good thing, right? You're finding themes. You're getting a sense for what matters. I have once again seen things about peaceful and soothing and family and hope. And that is something new about progress, which is really exciting. Okay, new color. Again, once again, you have done this question again. What does success look or feel like? So keep moving down, get digging deeper into the same category and value. What does success look like and feel like? Right? Where do you feel it in your body? What does success look like? What does it feel like? Okay, minute up. I'm gonna push you guys on this one because we have a little more time, but this is a great question for you to bring to your On My Mind mapping as well. The next question is, what are the fears, the shoulds, all of those niggles that come up when you start thinking about making these things happen? What are all of the fears, the shoulds that come up when you start thinking about making these things happen, okay? Minute on the timer. What shoulds or fears come up? I'll tell you right away, I've got a money one when it comes to trips. Shoulds, fears, assumptions. Okay, if you're anything like me, that round may have created some ickies, right? We're thinking about all of these wonderful things that we want to bring into your life. And if you've been on any of my sessions in the past around the inner critic, you know that the inner critic loves to come up when exciting things are happening, right? We always have this pedal on the brake just as we put the pedal on the gas. So just by seeing it and putting it out there, we can get a stronger handle on it, right? So when I first started thinking about connecting with friends and family, maybe we could go cooking and go to Maine and on a sailing trip, and it would be so peaceful and soothing and connects me to a greater sense of legacy, and oh, how delicious it would be, right? It would be fun and safe and warm, and my tongue would be tickled. But man, that might cost some money and take some time. Great. Great, that's fine. All things can be managed and dealt with, right? But without getting these things out there, I might never act on it. So at this point in time, it's really powerful to have now gone through all of these key areas of your life in this fashion and look at what themes are coming up for you, right? And where are there big connections where you could create a lot of change and empowerment and really live to whatever it is, like zesty, by putting some changes in. Once again, I just want you to pick 1 to 3 areas of focus for now, and you can keep coming back and growing. But when I really start to look at the themes here on, I had completed this totally. Ta-da! Let's say you're completely done. You can kind of see this, right? You can start to circle your themes, and I have big themes here in terms of wanting to feel the peacefulness of being outdoors and going on adventures with my partner and dog and friends, and a lot of relationships and connectivity. And there are also a lot of fears here about how I'm spending my money and questions of where am I actually putting too much money into, like, my business and not enough into the fun part of my life. Am I finding balance there, right? You also want to do the check for where am I putting my energy, and am I putting energy where my values are aligned, right? And I clearly had not put enough thought into how I was going to spend time with my family and what we were going to do together. And it was really nice to spend some extra time diving into this and how we can not just do the traditional things of how we connect, but what might be different and what might make us feel that extra zestiness. As you think about where your energy is going and those gaps to fill, find the connections and the synergies and create goals that are value-driven, that you feel like you can succeed in every day. And this is because outcome goals, we can often fail until we get there, right? And that just doesn't feel good, right? Losing weight is always a prime example. You want to lose 40 pounds, you step on the scale, right? You lose 39.5 pounds and you're still failing, and that sucks, right? But if you eat for energy, you can be successful every single day, and ultimately the pounds come off. And so as we think about creating goals off of our mind maps and really understanding what's important to us, we can create these big goals and then work on the tasks underneath them. For instance, one of my goals has become save and play all the ways, right? I know there's some things that I need to do, but the overarching theme is to save and play and have fun and live and get out there, right? And by making that my goal, I can find many ways to work on reaching that every single day and know that it's moving the dial on what I'm moving towards. Hi again, paste it. So that is the wonderful world of mind mapping and how it can be used to really take this idea of like, oh, I want to be out in nature and, you know, be creative, and really turn it into actionable steps of like, what does this look like in progress? What does this look like in practice? And at the end, it's all organized no matter how you thought about it. So I encourage you to use this mind mapping process, not only to finish thinking about your 2019 or to get things off your mind, but bring it to teams. It's great to have a whole bunch of people around doing the how might we questions, or working through a project or taking notes, whatever it is. Mind mapping will increase your productivity, will enhance your creativity and the power of a brainstorm, help you make sense of and better retain information, expressing your ideas and having them organized by the time you're done, right? It is such a powerful, powerful tool. So I really, Kat, thank you. She's really inspired. I love it. And hope that you guys will take a photo of your mind maps, share them with me, and I hope you have a better sense of that word of the year, how you're going to really bring that to life. If you have any questions, comments, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for those who joined, and yeah, hooray. I hope you guys have a zesty 2019, and next month's Live and Learn will be all about placebos and energetic scheduling and how do we live our lives in flow. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, everyone, and talk soon.